Over the past few years, I've fallen in love with the Persona series. I've played through 3, 4, and 5, and I'm in the final stages of Metaphor after months of playing it. It's been an incredible journey through multiple titles. And while there are a million different things to love about Atlus's premier franchise, there is one aspect that is light years ahead of the rest of the industry. It's an oft overlooked, yet vital aspect of the core experience of every game that we play. Atlus's menus carve out their own identity in each title, yet never lose the functionality of a boring list of command selections. I'm Ouroboros. Let's talk. It's rare that we see a niche JRPG make such a profound impact like Persona 5 did. You'll never see it coming turned into a meme for a little bit there, Joker made it into Smash, but when you see people cosplaying your battle UI, you know you did something special. Every little detail about all of the menus in P5 ooze with style and charisma. I mean, just look at the main menu. Joker zips through Tokyo only to land in the middle of Shibuya, surrounded by all of his allies. You've got all the Phantom Thieves completely painted over in red, the clear thematic color for P5, and their masks are highlighted with white. As you move through the menus, you're taken to a different part of the intersection with different characters greeting you. The new game option gives you some graffiti on the wall, Panther holds a load game calling card, you get the Thieves' Den vending machine, and config is lit up on a building. There's no reason for this to be so good. And this is before you've even really started playing the game. But of course, you have the in-game main menu with Joker's hand. This UI is so in your face. The stars are busy, the highlighted option is just like this weird light blue box that's misshapen and constantly morphing. None of the letters are centered or even in the same font, and all of the words are just completely off-center. The transitions move everything around, and yet, in spite of all of that and breaking basically every rule of UI accessibility, it works. It just works. Nothing is hard to read, everything is right where you need it, and it's incredibly easy to navigate. There's never really ever a point, outside of the first few hours with the game, that you can't find something in the menus. It's stylish and in your face, which complements the themes of P5 so well. The Phantom Thieves aren't exactly a subtle group, and that should be more than evident in their costumes. Even the normal, everyday UI follows these ideas. The dates and the deadlines, their graphics in the upper corners of the screen are a constant reminder that you need to get things done. There are random capital and lowercase letters depending on the day of the week. Really, the only time you get any sense of a consistent font is when you're reading dialogue. But even then, the dialogue box is constantly moving. Of course, I would be remiss to not mention the battle UI. Even though I've already brought it up, it absolutely deserves a quick section. It is beautiful. Full stop. No question. It follows the same anti-established UI rules that the rest of the menus do, but it's so genius. It's not a list of commands like most turn-based RPGs, but rather a kind of ring of options around the characters. You don't need to navigate it by going up and down, but rather, nearly everything is a simple button press away. This has the incredible side effect of drastically speeding up combat. Turn-based games can sometimes crawl to a halt, but because of this design, and because of the all-out attacks, Persona 5 allows you to zip through and shred low-level enemies. I love that the character who is currently acting is holding their HP and SP bar rather than just standing behind it. I love that the enemy's HP is shown as a heart. I love that you get a color-coordinated page-turning effect when it's the next party member's turn. I love the character cut-ins when you down an enemy. I love when enemies have cut-ins. If there's only one bad thing about this menu, it's that you have to spend like 20 minutes digging through your items to find the one that you're looking for. But literally, other than that, that's the only issue I have. I've never fallen in love with a game's aesthetic quite like Persona 5. But that's not to say that the other Persona games don't carve out their own niche. Reload did a fantastic job of bringing P3 up to modern standards, and I really appreciate that Atlus didn't stray away from their recent successes in the UI department. All of the menus are themed around water. Since blue is the main color of this game, it only seemed natural to go for that. While I personally like Persona 5's menus better, I can't sing high enough praises for Reload's design. The whole menu feels like Makoto is just falling through them. But he's transparent, so you get this cool feeling that water is almost enveloping him. One of my favorite additions is this cool holographic effect to the tarot cards. They obviously match the arcana of each of the social links, and the little spin that Makoto does during each transition is a really nice touch. There's also this kind of 3D effect you have going on when a new persona is fused. I don't really know how else to describe it, but if you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. I know some people weren't as happy with the battle UI change. It went from a revolver with each option spinning as you press left or right on the controller, to more of a Persona 5 approach where each option is just a button press away. It's still thematically consistent. It's a full and crescent moon to match the importance of the lunar phases in Persona 3, but when it spins into place, it kinda looks like when somebody is reloading a revolver. Do you get it? Because it's Persona 3 Reload, and you're reloading a revolver because it's Persona 3 Reload. I can't imagine this wasn't intentional, but I felt like I needed to point it out because I do think there are some people who still don't realize that. Of course, I have to talk about the newest kind of ish sequel and all but name, Metaphor ReFantazio. This has less of a color theming to the UI element and more of a few concepts. To me, there's two main aspects. The first is the brushstroke or paint splash or whatever you want to call it that you see in most of the menus. The second are the models that reference the Vitruvian Man by Da Vinci. These two ideas coalesce into an aesthetic which further emphasizes the fantasy setting of the game. It makes it feel like you're looking more into a piece of art or a book rather than a living world. I also personally love the addition of the king's face at the top of the battle turn counter. Deadlines feel less important in Metaphor than in the Persona series, but seeing the king in every single fight is a reminder of what the major overarching goal of Metaphor is. This is also less to do with UI and I guess more with character designs, but I really enjoy how a lot of the characters in this game have this sort of retro fashion design to them. I won't spoil anything, of course, but once you get later into the game and encounter more characters, you'll start to notice how many outfits are inspired by 60s and 70s fashion. It adds to the fantastical setting, but keeps it from being just another medieval fantasy game. There are a million more examples out there for good UI design, and I could really do in-depth breakdowns for each of these games, but I think that the best way for anyone to really appreciate them is to just play the games. The art team over at Atlus is exceptional at designing some of the most mundane aspects of games. I think that they definitely get recognition by people who play their games, but their work should be more widely known because of just how high they set the bar. I'm now always looking forward to their newest projects because I know they'll throw everything they have at us. I never thought that I could fall in love with a video game menu, but Atlus continues to prove me wrong time and time again. Thanks for watching.